The rusted Ferris wheel creaked in the wind, its shadow stretched across the overgrown pathway. This wasn't just any amusement park, this was Joyland, abandoned for decades. Locals whispered tales of its demise, they spoke of strange occurrences, unexplained noises, shadows moving in the darkness. Today, we were here to investigate. Our team was prepared, we had cameras, flashlights, and EMF readers. We stepped carefully through the overgrown entrance. Broken ticket booths stood like forgotten sentinels. The air was thick with silence, a silence only broken by the rustling of leaves and the distant caw of a crow. This place felt heavy, like it was holding its breath, waiting for something. We moved deeper into the park, past the decaying bumper cars and the rotting carousel. The air grew colder, the smell of damp earth filled our nostrils. Then we saw it. A dilapidated building half hidden by overgrown vines. Its sign read Funhouse, but the peeling paint couldn't hide the sinister energy emanating from it. We cautiously approached the entrance. The door creaked open with a groan. Inside, distorted mirrors reflected our nervous faces. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling like macabre decorations. And then, we saw it. In the corner, half hidden by a fallen mirror, lay a pile of clothes. They were old, faded, and far too small for an adult. A chill ran down my spine. This place wasn't just abandoned, it was disturbed. Leaving the funhouse, we stumbled upon a clearing. The trees parted like curtains, revealing an open space that seemed almost too perfect, too deliberate. It was as if the forest itself had decided to unveil a hidden secret, one that had been waiting for us all along. In the center stood a large, striped tent. Its vibrant colors were a stark contrast to the muted greens and browns of the forest. The tent seemed out of place, like a relic from another time, another world. It was both inviting and foreboding, a paradox that drew us in. The circus tent, its canvas was torn, revealing glimpses of the darkness within. The rips and tears in the fabric seemed to form sinister shapes, shadows that danced and flickered as the wind blew. It was as if the tent itself was alive, breathing, waiting. We felt a pull towards it, an unexplainable urge to see what lay inside. It was a magnetic force, an invisible hand guiding us forward. Each step we took was filled with a mix of excitement and dread, a cocktail of emotions that left us both eager and hesitant. The tent seemed to beckon us closer. The entrance flaps fluttered gently as if whispering secrets, inviting us to uncover the mysteries hidden within. We exchanged nervous glances, but the curiosity was too strong to resist. As we entered, the musty smell of old canvas and something else, something indescribable, hit us. It was a scent that carried the weight of forgotten memories, of laughter and tears, of joy and sorrow. The air was thick, almost tangible, wrapping around us like a shroud. The air was thick with anticipation. Every breath we took seemed to echo in the silence, amplifying the tension that hung in the air. It was as if the tent was holding its breath, waiting for us to make the next move. We shone our flashlights into the darkness. The beams cut through the thick air, revealing glimpses of the interior. Shadows danced on the walls, creating an eerie, almost hypnotic effect. It was a world of contrasts, of light and dark, of known and unknown. The beam illuminated a stage, dusty and bare, but something wasn't right. The stage seemed too pristine, too untouched, as if it had been waiting for a performance that never came. It was a silent witness to a story that had yet to be told. There in the center of the stage was a single microphone stand. It stood alone, a solitary figure in the spotlight, waiting for someone to speak, to break the silence that had settled over the tent. And beneath it, a child's shoe. It was small, delicate, a stark reminder of innocence lost. The sight of it sent a chill down our spines, a silent scream that echoed in the stillness. The same size and style as the ones we found in the funhouse. It was a connection, a thread that tied the two places together, weaving a tapestry of mystery and fear. Our hearts pounded in our chests. What had happened here? The question hung in the air, unanswered, as we stood there, caught between the past and the present, between reality and the unknown. We left the tent, our minds racing. The sun was beginning to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the park. The wind picked up, whistling through the broken rides. And then, we heard it. A faint whisper, carried on the wind. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. We stopped, listening intently. The whisper came again, this time clearer. A child's voice calling out a name. "Peter," it whispered. "Peter, where are you?" The hair on the back of my neck stood on end. This was no ordinary place, something was deeply wrong here. Section 5. The Haunted House's Grip. Driven by a mixture of fear and determination, we pressed on. The forest around us seemed to close in, the trees whispering secrets of the past. Every rustle of leaves and snap of twigs heightened our senses, making us acutely aware of the daunting task ahead. The haunted house stood before us, its facade even more menacing in the fading light. The windows, like dark eyes, seemed to follow our every move, and the creaking of the old wooden structure sent shivers down our spines. It was as if the house itself was alive, waiting for us. This was the heart of the park's darkness, we could feel it. The air grew colder, and an eerie silence enveloped us, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. It felt like we were stepping into another world, one where the rules of reality no longer applied. We had to go in. There was no turning back now. With a deep breath we pushed open the creaky door, its hinges groaning in protest. The darkness inside seemed to swallow us whole, and the musty smell of decay filled our nostrils. Inside the air was heavy, stagnant. It felt like the house had been holding its breath for years, waiting for someone to disturb its slumber. The floorboards creaked under our feet, and the walls seemed to close in around us. Dust motes danced in our flashlight beams. Each step we took stirred up more dust, creating a ghostly haze that hung in the air. It was as if the house was trying to obscure our vision, to keep its secrets hidden. We moved through darkened corridors, past grinning ghosts and grotesque figures. The walls were lined with old portraits, their eyes seeming to follow us as we passed. Shadows danced on the walls, creating the illusion of movement where there was none. Each room seemed colder than the last. The chill seeped into our bones, making us shiver despite our layers of clothing. It was as if the house was trying to freeze us out to make us leave. And then, we found it. A room that seemed different from the others. It was smaller, more intimate, and yet it held an air of significance. It was as if this room held the key to the house's mysteries. A small, dusty room, untouched by time. The air was thick with the scent of old wood and forgotten memories. It felt like stepping into a time capsule, a snapshot of a life long gone. Toys were scattered on the floor. They were old, worn, and covered in dust, but they told a story. A story of a child who once played here, who once called this place home. A child's drawings were pinned to the wall. They were simple, innocent, and yet they held a haunting quality. It was as if the child had tried to capture the essence of the house in their art, and in the center of the room, a small bed. It was old and worn, but it held a sense of comfort, of safety. It was a stark contrast to the rest of the house, a small oasis of peace in a sea of darkness. On the pillow, a name was embroidered in faded thread. Peter. It was a name that seemed to echo through the room, a name that held a story, a history. It was a name that made the house feel less like a haunted place and more like a home that had been forgotten. The name sent a shiver down my spine. This wasn't just a random collection of items, this was someone's life, someone named Peter. We searched the room, desperate for answers, and then beneath the bed we found it, a small, wooden music box. It was ornately carved with images of circus animals. We carefully lifted the box. As soon as our fingers touched it, the music box sprang to life. A haunting melody filled the room, echoing through the silent house. The melody was familiar, yet strange. It was like a lullaby, but with a discordant, unsettling undertone. It was as if the music box itself was trying to tell us something. As the first rays of dawn broke through the gloom, we finally emerged from the haunted house. We were exhausted, both physically and emotionally. We had found no answers, only more questions. Who was Peter? What happened to him? And what was the significance of the music box? We left Joyland that morning, but it didn't leave us. The images, the sounds, the feeling of dread, it all stayed with us. We had gone looking for answers, but we found something else entirely. We found a mystery that ran deeper than we could have imagined. A mystery that whispered of forgotten tragedies and unanswered questions. Back in the familiar surroundings of my office, I pore over the evidence. The photographs, the audio recordings, the chilling melody captured from the music box. Each piece of the puzzle only deepens the mystery. Who was Peter, and what happened to him within the walls of Joyland? Was he a visitor, lost and forgotten within the park's sprawling grounds? Or was there something more sinister at play, something that explained the abandoned clothes, the whispers on the wind, the overwhelming sense of dread that permeated the air? The more I delve into the case, the more I realize that some questions may never have answers. The experience at Joyland has shaken me. There's no denying it. The eerie silence that enveloped the park was unlike anything I had ever encountered before. It was as if the very air was thick with the weight of forgotten memories and untold stories. Each step I took echoed through the empty pathways, amplifying the sense of isolation and abandonment. I faced my share of the unexplained, but there's something about the silence of that abandoned amusement park, the way it holds onto its secrets, that continues to haunt me. The rusted rides, once vibrant and full of life, now stand as ghostly sentinels guarding the remnants of a past that refuses to be forgotten. The way it holds onto its secrets, that continues to haunt me. The overgrown vegetation reclaiming the once meticulously maintained grounds adds to the sense of desolation. It's as if nature itself is trying to erase the existence of Joyland, to bury its mysteries beneath a blanket of green. The laughter of children, once a symphony of joy, now echoes only in memory, replaced by the unsettling creak of rusted swings and the mournful sigh of the wind. The playground, once a place of happiness and carefree days, now stands as a stark reminder of the passage of time and the inevitability of change, replaced by the unsettling creak of rusted swings and the mournful sigh of the wind. The sound is almost hypnotic, drawing me deeper into the melancholy of the place. It's a haunting melody that lingers long after I've left, a reminder of the fragility of human endeavors and the relentless march of time. As I pack away the music box, its melody still echoing faintly in my mind, I can't help but feel a sense of loss. The music box, a relic of a bygone era, seems to hold within it the essence of Joyland's former glory. Its tune, though faint, carries with it the weight of countless memories and emotions. I know that Joyland will continue to beckon, its mysteries waiting to be unraveled. The park, with its faded colors and crumbling structures, is a testament to the passage of time and the impermanence of human creations. Yet, despite its decay, there is an undeniable allure to the place, a pull that is hard to resist, its mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Each visit to Joyland feels like peeling back the layers of a forgotten story, uncovering fragments of a past that is both fascinating and unsettling. The park is a puzzle, each piece revealing a new aspect of its history and the lives that once filled its grounds. But some doors are perhaps best left closed, some secrets better left buried beneath the weight of time and silence. There is a certain comfort in the unknown, a safety in not disturbing the past. For in the pursuit of answers, we may uncover truths that are more terrifying than the mysteries themselves. Some secrets better left buried beneath the weight of time and silence. The objects scattered throughout the park, forgotten and time-worn, tell a story of their own. They are relics of a time long past, each one holding a piece of the puzzle that is Joyland. For in the pursuit of the unknown, sometimes the most terrifying discoveries are those that reveal the darkness within ourselves. The journey through Joyland is not just a physical one, but a journey into the depths of our own fears and uncertainties. It is a reminder that the most haunting places are not always those that are abandoned, but those that reside within our own minds.